6 years have passed since the events that nearly destroyed Litwak's family fun center and arcade, and the digital world within has settled into a comfortable rhythm that mirrors the predictable patterns of the games themselves. The story begins in the familiar electrical pathways that connect the arcade games, those glowing corridors where video game characters mingle after hours. When the arcade closes and the human players disappear, Ralph and Vanellope have maintained their friendship with the same dedication that players show to their favorite games, meeting every evening in the power cord that serves as their private hangout space. The opening scene establishes the central tension that will drive the entire narrative forward. Ralph sits contentedly in the warm glow of the electrical current, his massive frame somehow fitting comfortably in the confined space, while Vanellope bounces around with her characteristic restless energy. They play a simple game of I Spy, with Vanellope trying to guess what Ralph is looking at based solely on color descriptions. The game reveals something profound about their relationship and their individual personalities. Ralph describes something yellow and circular, and Vanellope immediately guesses Pac-Man, though Ralph teasingly points out it could have been Mrs. Pac-Man or Baby Pac-Man. This playful exchange demonstrates the easy familiarity between them, but also hints at Vanellope's growing need for something more challenging and unpredictable than the routine they have fallen into. The production team faced unique challenges in creating this opening sequence, as they needed to establish both the comfort of the established relationship and the underlying restlessness that would motivate the plot. The animators worked extensively with lighting to create the warm, intimate atmosphere of the power cord hangout, using techniques that required over 1,500 individual lighting calculations per frame. The voice acting between John Reilly and Sarah Silverman captures the natural rhythm of longtime friends, with improvised moments that made it into the final cut. The directors noted that this scene went through 47 different versions before they achieved the right balance of comfort and underlying tension. When the arcade closes each night, the characters emerge from their games through the power strip that serves as Game Central Station, a bustling hub reminiscent of a major metropolitan train terminal. The design of this space drew inspiration from Grand Central Station in New York City, but the production team also incorporated elements from One Wilshire in Los Angeles, one of the world's largest telecommunications centers, which they toured extensively during pre-production. The visual development team created over 300 concept drawings of Game Central Station before settling on the final design, which needed to feel both familiar from the first film and capable of accommodating the new Wi-Fi router that would become central to the plot. Ralph expresses genuine contentment with their current life, and his satisfaction makes perfect sense when considering his character arc from the first film. For 27 years before meeting Vanellope, Ralph experienced complete social isolation, always being the villain that everyone feared or despised. The friendship he found with Vanellope represents the first meaningful connection he has ever experienced, making him naturally protective of the status quo that brought him such happiness. Johnston. Reilly's performance captures this perfectly, with vocal inflections that convey both warmth and an underlying anxiety about change. The voice recording sessions for this film required 3 times as many takes as the original, as the emotional complexity had deepened significantly. Vanellope, however, represents the opposite emotional trajectory. While Ralph found fulfillment through finally belonging somewhere, Vanellope has begun to feel constrained by the very predictability that gives Ralph comfort. Sarah Silverman worked closely with the directors to develop vocal patterns that would convey Vanellope's restlessness without making her seem ungrateful or dismissive of Ralph's friendship. The challenge was making her dissatisfaction relatable rather than selfish, which required subtle changes in timing and emphasis that took months of refinement. The inciting incident arrives when Mr. Litwak installs a Wi-Fi router in the arcade, creating a direct connection to the vast expanse of the internet. The surge protector, reprising his role as the security-minded authority figure, immediately warns all game characters that the internet represents danger and explicitly forbids anyone from entering through the new connection. This warning creates dramatic irony, as the audience understands that Ralph and Vanellope will inevitably need to venture into this forbidden territory. The production team used this moment to establish the internet as both a source of infinite possibility and genuine threat, a duality that would prove central to the film's themes. The installation of the Wi-Fi router required the production team to research actual internet infrastructure extensively. They consulted with network engineers, visited data centers, and studied the physical architecture of internet connectivity. The router itself was designed to look both inviting and slightly ominous, with pulsing lights that suggest activity and life while also hinting at the chaos that lies beyond. The sound design for the router incorporated actual recordings of server farms and data centers, layered with musical elements to create something that sounded both technological and magical. Vanellope's dissatisfaction with Sugar Rush's predictability reaches a breaking point during a routine race. The monotony of her daily existence as a racer has begun to wear on her spirit in ways that become increasingly apparent as the scene unfolds. Every track, every turn, every obstacle has become so familiar that she can navigate them without any sense of challenge or discovery. The animation team spent considerable effort showing this emotional state through physical performance, having Vanellope go through the motions of racing without her usual enthusiasm and spark. Ralph notices his best friend's unhappiness and makes a decision that will set the entire plot in motion. Driven by his desire to help Vanellope rediscover her joy in racing, Ralph sneaks into Sugar Rush during operating hours and constructs a secret bonus track. This moment represents Ralph's growth as a character, as he moves beyond his own comfort zone to help someone he cares about. However, it also demonstrates the kind of well-intentioned but ultimately misguided action that will create problems throughout the film. The creation of the secret track required the animation team to develop new techniques for showing construction within a digital environment. They needed to make Ralph's building activities look both physical and digital, realistic and fantastical. The track itself incorporates design elements that reflect Ralph's aesthetic sensibilities rather than Sugar Rush's usual candy-themed environment, creating visual tension that foreshadows the conflict to come. Over 250 individual elements were designed for this sequence, each requiring separate animation and lighting calculation. When Vanellope discovers the secret track, her excitement overrides her usual caution, and she abandons the scripted race to explore Ralph's creation. This decision to break from her programmed path and follow her curiosity represents a crucial character moment that establishes her desire for autonomy and self-determination. The animation of her discovery required particular attention to facial expression and body language, as Vanellope needed to convey wonder, excitement, and determination without any dialogue. Sarah Silverman recorded multiple vocal takes to capture the right combination of joy and rebellion. The player controlling Vanellope's cart becomes confused and frustrated when she deviates from the expected course, leading to a struggle for control between human player and digital character. This conflict between player expectations and character agency serves as a metaphor for the broader themes of the film about growing up, making independent choices, and dealing with the consequences of following one's own path, rather than accepting predetermined roles. The technical challenge of animating this struggle required the team to research actual gaming experiences and player reactions to unexpected game behavior. The struggle between Vanellope and the player results in disaster when the Sugar Rush cabinet's steering wheel breaks under the stress of their conflicting inputs. The breaking of the wheel represents more than just mechanical failure. It symbolizes the breaking point between safety and growth, between predictability and adventure. The sound design for this moment required layering multiple audio elements to create something that sounded both physically destructive and emotionally devastating. The animation team spent weeks perfecting the exact way the wheel would break, studying real arcade cabinet mechanics and testing different approaches to make the moment feel both realistic and dramatically satisfying. Mr. Litwack faces a difficult decision when he discovers the broken steering wheel. The company that manufactured Sugar Rush went out of business years ago, making replacement parts scarce and expensive. A helpful customer finds a replacement wheel on eBay, but the cost of $200 exceeds what the game generates in revenue over an entire year. This economic reality forces Litwack to make the practical but heartbreaking decision to unplug Sugar Rush permanently and sell the cabinet for parts. Ed O'Neill's performance as Litwack captures the genuine regret of someone making a necessary but unfortunate business decision. The unplugging of Sugar Rush creates a refugee crisis in the arcade, with all of the game's characters suddenly homeless and facing an uncertain future. The Surge Protector works quickly to find temporary accommodations, demonstrating the kind of community support that exists within the arcade. Felix and Calhoun step forward to adopt all 15 of the Sugar Rush racers, showing how their relationship has evolved since their marriage 6 years earlier. This development provides both practical plot advancement and character growth, as Felix and Calhoun transition from newlyweds to instant parents of a large family. The adoption sequence required careful attention to both emotional resonance and logistical complexity. The animators had to show 15 individual characters, each with distinct personalities and designs, being integrated into Felix and Calhoun's living situation. The challenge was making this feel both heartwarming and slightly chaotic, reflecting the reality of suddenly expanding a family. Jack McBrayer and Jane Lynch recorded their dialogue for this sequence together, allowing their real-time interactions to inform the performances and create authentic chemistry between Felix and Calhoun as they navigate their new parental responsibilities. Vanellope experiences profound loss as she contemplates the end of Sugar Rush. But her grief goes deeper than simple nostalgia. She tells Ralph that despite the game's predictability, she truly loved it and cannot imagine her life without it. This moment reveals the complexity of her feelings about her home game. Even though she craved excitement and unpredictability, she also deeply valued the security and identity that Sugar Rush provided. Sarah Silverman's vocal performance captures this emotional complexity, conveying both loss and a kind of mature understanding of what home really means. Ralph's decision to venture into the internet represents a pivotal moment in his character development. Despite his natural inclination towards safety and routine, his love for Vanellope motivates him to face the unknown dangers that lie beyond the Wi-Fi route. This decision demonstrates how genuine friendship can inspire people to act beyond their comfort zones and take risks they would never consider for themselves. John C. Reilly's performance captures both Ralph's determination and his underlying fear, showing how courage often coexists with anxiety. The transition from the familiar environment of the arcade to the vast digital landscape of the internet required the production team to develop entirely new visual approaches and technical solutions. The internet needed to feel both connected to the arcade world and completely different from anything seen in the first film. The design team studied urban landscapes, particularly Los Angeles and Tokyo, to understand how to create a sense of overwhelming scale and complexity while still maintaining visual clarity for the audience. The visual representation of the internet as a sprawling city with websites appearing as buildings draws from multiple architectural traditions and urban planning concepts. The team wanted to make abstract digital concepts physically tangible and emotionally relatable. Each website building reflects the personality and function of the actual site it represents, requiring the designers to create visual metaphors that would be immediately recognizable to audiences. The level of detail in these background elements reaches extraordinary depths, with individual buildings containing references and Easter eggs that reward careful viewing. The search engine Knowsmore serves as Ralph and Vanellope's first guide in the internet world, and his design and personality reflect both the helpfulness and frustration of modern search technology. Alan Tudyk's performance creates a character who desperately wants to be helpful, but often provides more information than requested, mirroring the experience of using autocomplete and search suggestion. The character design drew inspiration from mid-1960s Disney television specials, particularly the work of Ward Kimball and Mark Davis, creating a retro-futuristic aesthetic that feels both timeless and cutting-edge. The aggressive autocomplete function that defines Knowsmore's personality required careful calibration to be funny without becoming annoying. The animators studied real user interactions with search engines, paying attention to the timing and rhythm of how people type queries and receive suggestions. Tudyk recorded multiple variations of each line, allowing the editors to fine-tune the pacing and create the right balance between helpfulness and interference. The eBay sequence introduces Ralph and Vanellope to the commercial aspects of the internet, and their inexperience with online auctions leads to immediate complications. Their innocent approach to bidding, driven by their urgent need to save Sugar Rush, results in them unintentionally driving the price of the steering wheel up to $27,001. This moment perfectly captures how digital natives and digital immigrants approach online spaces differently, with Ralph and Vanellope representing the confusion that can arise when arcade game characters encounter modern e-commerce. The auction sequence required the animation team to create a convincing representation of online bidding that would be visually engaging and easy for audiences to follow. The challenge was showing the rapid-fire nature of online auctions while maintaining narrative clarity and emotional stakes. The sequence went through multiple revisions as the team refined the balance between comedy and genuine tension. The 24-hour deadline creates urgency that drives the plot forward and forces Ralph and Vanellope into increasingly risky situations. This ticking clock element serves both narrative and thematic purposes, reflecting how internet culture often operates on compressed timescales and immediate gratification. The pressure of the deadline also pushes the characters toward decisions they might not make under normal circumstances, setting up the moral complexities that will define the rest of the film. Spamley emerges as a morally ambiguous figure who introduces Ralph and Vanellope to the underground economy that exists within the internet. Bill Hader's performance creates a character who is simultaneously desperate and opportunistic, helpful, and potentially dangerous. Spamley represents the kind of internet personality who operates in gray areas, offering services that might be legitimate but feel vaguely unsavory. His design as a clickbait salesman reflects the visual aesthetic of pop-up advertising, with bright colors and attention-grabbing elements that mirror his pushy personality. The concept of stealing a car from Slaughter Race introduces Ralph and Vanellope to gaming culture that is far removed from the innocent world of the arcade. Slaughter Race represents modern online gaming with its emphasis on combat, competition, and adult themes. The production team researched Battle Royale games extensively, studying not just their visual design but also their social dynamics and cultural impact. They wanted to create a game that felt authentically contemporary while still being appropriate for their family audience. Slaughter Race required the development of entirely new animation techniques to capture the high-speed, high-intensity action that defines modern racing games. The sequence needed to feel more realistic and gritty than anything in the Sugar Rush world, while still maintaining the Disney House style. The effects team created new systems for generating tire smoke, sparks, and debris that would enhance the sense of speed and danger without becoming overwhelming or inappropriate for younger viewers. Shank emerges as one of the film's most important new characters, representing a kind of cool, competent femininity that contrasts with both Ralph's bumbling good intentions and Vanellope's energetic enthusiasm. Gal Gadot's performance creates a character who is tough without being mean, confident without being arrogant, and helpful without being condescending. Shank's design reflects her role as a professional racer and her status as a non-player character who has developed beyond her original programming. The relationship between Shank and Vanellope develops quickly but authentically, based on mutual respect for each other's racing abilities and a shared understanding of what it means to be a strong female character in a gaming environment. Their connection represents the kind of mentorship and friendship that can develop between people who recognize similar qualities in each other. The animation team paid careful attention to the body language and facial expressions that would convey this growing bond without relying heavily on dialogue. When Shank compliments Vanellope's racing skills and suggests they seek help from Yesss Budstube, she sets in motion the series of events that will both solve their immediate financial problem and create the deeper emotional conflicts that drive the film's second half. This moment demonstrates Shank's generosity and her ability to see potential in others, qualities that will make her an important ally and eventually a catalyst for Vanellope's personal growth. BuzzTube represents the film's satirical take on social media culture and viral video phenomena. The design of the website reflects the overwhelming, constantly changing nature of online video platforms, with content streams flowing like rivers and trending topics appearing as physical landmarks. The production team studied YouTube, TikTok, and other video platforms to understand the visual language of social media and translate it into a physical environment that characters could navigate and audiences could understand. Yesss serves as both a helpful guide and a representation of algorithmic culture, making decisions based on data analysis and trend prediction rather than personal relationships or traditional values. Taraji P. Henson's performance creates a character who is simultaneously artificial and authentic, calculating, and genuinely enthusiastic. The character design incorporates elements inspired by Cruella de Vil, particularly in her fashion sense and dramatic personality, while also reflecting the sleek, modern aesthetic of social media influencers. The concept of making viral videos to earn money introduces Ralph and Vanellope to the attention economy that drives much of modern internet culture. Ralph's natural tendency toward physical comedy and destruction makes him surprisingly well-suited for viral content, while Vanellope's energy and enthusiasm make her an effective promoter and collaborator. This sequence allows the film to explore how internet fame works and what it costs, both financially and personally. The production team researched actual viral video phenomena to create content that would feel authentic while remaining appropriate for family audience. They studied everything from unboxing videos to reaction content to extreme challenge videos, analyzing what makes content shareable and how creators build audiences. The challenge was creating fictional viral content that would be funny and recognizable without dating the film or promoting actually dangerous behavior. Ralph's success as a viral video creator reveals unexpected aspects of his personality and ability. His willingness to put himself in absurd situations and his genuine reactions to unusual experiences create content that resonates with audiences within the film. John C. Reilly's performance captures Ralph's growing confidence and enjoyment of his internet fame, while also showing his underlying naivety about the potential consequences of viral success. The trending topics that drive BuzzTube's algorithm reflect real internet culture, while avoiding specific references that might quickly become dated. The film includes parodies of everything from cooking shows to makeup tutorials to extreme sports, creating a comprehensive survey of online video content. The animation team had to create unique visual approaches for each type of content, requiring research into actual production techniques used by content creators. Vanellope's role in promoting Ralph's videos allows her to explore the internet independently and discover new aspects of her own personality. Her natural charisma and quick wit make her effective at generating engagement and driving traffic to Ralph's content. Sarah Silverman's performance shows Vanellope gaining confidence and discovering abilities she didn't know she possessed, setting up her later realization that she might want to explore opportunities beyond Sugar Rush. The decision to send Vanellope to Oh My Disney while Ralph continues creating content serves multiple narrative purposes. It gives both characters individual adventures that reveal different aspects of their personalities, while also setting up the emotional conflict that will define the film's climax. The separation also allows the film to explore different aspects of internet culture simultaneously, with Ralph experiencing the creative and financial opportunities, while Vanellope encounters the community and identity-building aspect. Oh My Disney represents the film's most elaborate and technically challenging sequence, requiring the integration of dozens of Disney properties and characters into a single coherent environment. The sequence serves as both a celebration of Disney's cultural impact and a gentle satire of fan culture and corporate synergy. The production team had to navigate complex legal and creative challenges to include so many different properties while maintaining. The Disney princess sequence emerged from screenwriter Pamela Ribon's recognition that Vanellope fits the technical definition of a Disney princess, having been a ruler who experienced hardship and found her true identity. The concept evolved into a self-referential comedy sequence that allowed Disney to acknowledge and gently mock its own formulas and tropes. The sequence required careful balancing to be funny without being mean-spirited, celebratory without being overly commercial. Getting all the original voice actresses to return for their princess roles presented significant logistical challenges. Some actresses had died, others had retired, and coordinating schedules for such a large ensemble proved complex. The solution involved creative casting choices and extensive coordination between multiple agents, managers, and schedulers. The result creates an unprecedented Disney crossover that had never been attempted before and may never be repeated. The princess dressing room sequence allows the film to explore themes of female empowerment, friendship, and identity while providing commentary on Disney's own storytelling traditions. The princesses recognize Vanellope as one of their own and welcome her into their community, creating a moment of acceptance and belonging that parallels Ralph's journey in the first film. The sequence also allows the princesses to demonstrate agency and intelligence that sometimes gets overlooked in their individual films. Vanellope's comfortable clothes become a source of fascination for the princesses, leading to a humorous sequence where they all adopt more casual, practical outfits. This moment serves both comedic and thematic purposes, suggesting that even iconic characters can grow and change, and that comfort and practicality have their own kind of beauty. The redesign of the princess outfits required extensive concept art and careful consideration of how to maintain each character's essential identity while updating their look. The musical sequence that follows Vanellope's conversation with the princesses represents her emotional breakthrough and self-realization. The song written specifically for the film, follows the Disney tradition of want songs, while also serving as parody and homage. Sarah Silverman's vocal performance captures Vanellope's growing understanding of her own desires and ambitions, marking a crucial turning point in her character development. Meanwhile, Ralph achieves his financial goal and successfully purchases the steering wheel, believing he has solved their problem and saved Sugar Rush. His satisfaction represents the completion of his immediate mission, but it also sets up the emotional devastation that will follow when he discovers Vanellope's true desires. John C. Reilly's performance captures Ralph's pride in his accomplishment and his anticipation of Vanellope's gratitude, making his subsequent disappointment more powerful. The moment when Ralph overhears Vanellope confessing to Shank that she wants to stay in Slaughter Race represents the film's emotional turning point. Ralph's worldview collapses as he realizes that his best friend is considering abandoning their shared life for something he cannot provide. This revelation forces Ralph to confront his own insecurities about being enough, being worthy of love, and being able to change and grow alongside someone he cares about. Ralph's reaction to Vanellope's potential departure reveals the possessive aspects of his love that have been lurking beneath his protective instincts. His immediate impulse is to prevent her from leaving rather than to understand why she wants to go, demonstrating how fear can corrupt even the most genuine relationships. John C. Reilly's performance captures the complex mixture of hurt, panic, and selfishness that drives Ralph's subsequent actions. The decision to seek help from family represents Ralph's descent into increasingly questionable moral terror. His desperation overcomes his usual ethical instincts, leading him to consider actions he would normally reject. This moment demonstrates how emotional pain can drive people toward choices that contradict their essential character, setting up Ralph's role as his own worst enemy in the film's climax. Double Dan and the dark web represent the internet's most dangerous and morally ambiguous spaces. Alfred Molina's performance creates a character who is simultaneously seductive and repulsive, offering solutions that come with terrible hidden costs. The design of the dark web environment reflects real concerns about online safety and privacy while avoiding content that would be too frightening for younger audiences. The insecurity virus that Double Dan provides represents both a plot device and metaphor for how negative emotions can spread and multiply in digital environments. The virus feeds on insecurities and replicates them, which perfectly captures Ralph's emotional state and foreshadows the chaos that will ensue. The concept also reflects real concerns about how social media and online interactions can amplify and spread. Ralph's decision to unleash the virus in Slaughter Race represents his moral low point as he prioritizes his own emotional needs over Vanellope's happiness and safety. This action demonstrates how good people can make terrible choices when driven by fear, and sequence required careful handling to maintain Ralph's essential likability, while showing the destructive consequences of his selfishness. The virus's unexpected effect on Vanellope's glitch creates a cascade of unintended consequences that threaten to destroy Slaughter Race entirely. The technical challenge of animating Vanellope's glitch spreading throughout the game required new approaches to visual effects and particle animation. The sequence needed to feel both beautiful and dangerous, showing how something unique and special about Vanellope could become destructive when removed from its proper context. The server reboot that threatens to delete Vanellope forever raises the stakes to life and death levels, forcing Ralph to confront the potential permanent consequences of his actions. This moment transforms the conflict from emotional and relational to literally existential, adding urgency and gravity to Ralph's need for redemption. The animation of the reboot sequence required extensive research into actual server technology and data storage systems. Vanellope's assumption that the crash was her fault reflects her internalized sense of being a problem or a burden, echoing themes from the first film of self-worth and belonging. Her willingness to blame herself for something Ralph caused demonstrates both her loyalty to their friendship and her own insecurities about her glitch and its effects on others. Sarah Silverman's performance captures the complex mixture of guilt, confusion, and self-recrimination that defines this moment. Ralph's confession represents a crucial moment of honesty and accountability, as he finally admits the truth about his actions and their consequences. However, his confession comes too late to prevent the damage, both to Slaughter Race and to his friendship with Vanellope. John C. Reilly's performance captures Ralph's genuine remorse, while also showing his continued failure to fully understand the scope of his betrayal. Vanellope's reaction to Ralph's confession demonstrates the depth of her hurt and the significance of his betrayal. Her decision to throw away the hero medal she made for him represents the symbolic destruction of their friendship and her rejection of the identity he helped her create. This moment parallels the medal's importance in the first film, while showing how symbols of connection can become symbols of betrayal when trust is broken. The virus's scan of Ralph's emotional state creates an army of insecurity-driven clones that represent his worst impulses and fears made manifest. These clones embody Ralph's possessiveness, neediness, and destructive tendencies while lacking his essential goodness and capacity for growth. The visual design of the clones required subtle changes to Ralph's appearance that would make them recognizably him, while clearly identifying them as twisted versions of his character. The global denial-of-service attack, caused by Ralph's clones, reflects real internet vulnerabilities while serving as a metaphor for how one person's emotional problems can affect entire communities. The animation of the internet's destruction required unprecedented technical complexity, with thousands of individual elements being animated simultaneously to create a sense of total chaos and systemic failure. The formation of the giant Ralph monster from the collective clones represents the ultimate manifestation of toxic masculinity and possessive love. The creature's single-minded focus on capturing and keeping Vanellope reflects the most destructive aspects of Ralph's feelings, stripped of the genuine care and respect that normally temper his protective instincts. The design and animation of the monster drew inspiration from classic movie monsters while maintaining Ralph's essential visual identity. The climactic confrontation between Ralph and his own worst impulses requires him to acknowledge and accept his insecurities rather than fighting or denying them. This moment represents genuine character growth, as Ralph learns to let go of his need to control Vanellope's choices and trust in the strength of their friendship. John C. Reilly's performance captures the difficulty and pain of this realization, while showing Ralph's fundamental goodness reasserting itself. The Disney princess's rescue of Ralph provides both spectacular action and emotional resolution, as characters who were initially comic relief demonstrate their heroism and agency. Their intervention represents the power of community and female solidarity. The sequence required extensive coordination between multiple animation teams and careful attention to each character's distinct movement and fighting styles. Vanellope's decision to stay in Slaughter Race represents her choice to pursue growth and challenge over comfort and familiarity. This decision demonstrates her maturity and independence, while also showing how genuine love sometimes means accepting difficult choices. Her willingness to leave the safety of Sugar Rush for the uncertainty of a new game reflects the kind of courage required for personal growth and self-actualization. The sharing of the broken medal between Ralph and Vanellope transforms a symbol of their friendship's destruction into a representation of their bond's evolution. The broken medal acknowledges that their relationship has been damaged, but also suggests that it can be rebuilt in a new form that accommodates their individual growth and changing needs. This moment provides emotional resolution while avoiding the simplicity of complete restoration. Ralph's return to the arcade and his integration into broader social activities show his growth beyond his dependence on Vanellope for social connection and self-worth. His ability to maintain their friendship through video calls while building other relationships demonstrates emotional maturity and resilience. The sequence shows how losing one relationship, even temporarily, can motivate people to develop other aspects of their social lives. The film's resolution avoids the simple restoration of the status quo in favor of a more complex understanding of how relationships evolve and endure. Ralph and Vanellope's friendship continues, but in a new form that accommodates their individual growth and separate lives. This ending reflects the reality of how important relationships change over time while maintaining their essential emotional connection. The technical achievement of Ralph breaks the internet cannot be overstated, as the film contains over 150 unique sets and nearly 6,000 individual assets. The character count reaches 434 individual characters with over 6,000 variants, making it the most populous animated film ever created by Disney. These numbers reflect the ambition and complexity of creating a convincing representation of the entire internet within a single animated feature. The animation of the internet environment required the development of new software tools and rendering techniques that could handle the unprecedented complexity of the digital landscape. The production team had to solve problems that had never been encountered before in animation, creating solutions that advanced the technical capabilities of the entire industry. The collaborative effort required coordination between dozens of departments and hundreds of individual artists and technicians. The film's approach to product placement and brand integration represents a sophisticated understanding of how to incorporate real-world elements without compromising artistic integrity or narrative focus. The inclusion of actual websites and internet companies serves the story's needs while also providing authentic detail that grounds the fantasy elements in recognizable reality. This balance required careful negotiation and creative problem-solving throughout the production process. The voice-acting performances throughout the film demonstrate the evolution of the characters and their relationships over the 6-year gap between films. Reilly and Sarah Silverman's chemistry has deepened and matured, allowing them to explore more complex emotional terrain while maintaining the playful energy that defined their relationship in the first film. Their performances anchor the film's emotional journey and provide the human heart that makes the spectacular technical achievements meaningful. The film's exploration of internet culture manages to be both specific enough to feel authentic and general enough to remain relevant as technology continues to evolve. The creators avoided references that would quickly become dated while capturing the essential dynamics and relationships that define online spaces. This approach ensures that the film's social commentary remains meaningful, even as specific platforms and technologies change. The musical elements of the film, including both the original songs and the incorporation of existing Disney music, demonstrate sophisticated understanding of how music can serve both narrative and emotional functions. The original song, A Place Called Slaughter Race, serves as both character development for Vanellope and parody of Disney musical traditions, while the incorporation of classic princess songs provides emotional resonance. The film's handling of themes related to friendship, growing up, and personal autonomy reflects a mature understanding of how relationships evolve over time. The story acknowledges that love sometimes means letting go, that growth can be painful, and that the strongest relationships are those that can adapt to change rather than resisting. The critical reception of Ralph Breaks the Internet reflected both appreciation for its technical achievements and recognition of its emotional sophistication. Critics praised the film's visual spectacle while also noting its thoughtful approach to contemporary social issues and its honest portrayal of how relationships can both nurture and constrain personal growth. The film's ability to function as both entertainment and social commentary demonstrated the potential for animated films to address complex themes without sacrificing accessibility or enjoyment. The box office performance of the film, grossing over $500 million worldwide, demonstrated the continued appeal of the characters and their world, while also showing audiences' appetite for stories that tackle contemporary issues through familiar frameworks. The financial success validated Disney's approach to sequels that expand and deepen, rather than simply repeating the elements that made the original successful. The film's impact on discussions about internet culture, friendship, and personal growth extended beyond the theater experience, as audiences and critics engaged with its themes in social media discussions, academic analyses, and family conversations. The movie's ability to generate meaningful dialogue about important topics while remaining thoroughly entertaining demonstrated the unique power of animated storytelling to address serious subjects through accessible and engaging narratives. The legacy of Ralph Breaks the Internet lies not just in its technical innovations or commercial success, but in its honest and nuanced exploration of how relationships evolve and endure in an interconnected world. The film's recognition that growth sometimes requires separation, that love means supporting someone else's choices even when they're difficult, and that friendship can survive and even strengthen through major changes provides valuable insights for audiences navigating their own relationships and transitions. The production process itself became a model for how large-scale collaborative projects can maintain artistic vision while accommodating the input and expertise of hundreds of individuals. The film's success demonstrated that technical complexity and emotional authenticity can coexist and reinforce each other when guided by clear creative leadership and shared commitment to storytelling excellence. The film's approach to representing the internet as a physical space that characters can navigate and explore solved a fundamental challenge of making abstract digital concepts tangible and relatable. This achievement opened new possibilities for storytelling in digital environments and provided a template for how other films might approach similar challenges of visualizing invisible or intangible concepts. Ralph Breaks the Internet stands as both a worthy successor to its predecessor and an independent achievement that explores new thematic territory while maintaining the charm and heart that made the original film beloved. Its combination of spectacular visual achievement, sophisticated humor, genuine emotional depth, and thoughtful social commentary creates an experience that rewards multiple viewings and provides different levels of meaning for different audiences. The film's ultimate message about the importance of supporting the people we love, even when their choices take them away from us, resonates with particular power in an era when Ralph's journey from possessive anxiety to generous support mirrors the challenges many people face in maintaining relationships across distance, difference, and change. Vanellope's courage in choosing growth over safety, adventure over predictability, and authenticity over comfort provides an inspiring example of how personal fulfillment sometimes requires difficult choices and the willingness to disappoint people we care about. Her decision to leave Sugar Rush for Slaughter Race represents the kind of self-advocacy and independence that can be particularly challenging for people who have been defined by their relationships to others. The film's portrayal of the Internet as a place of both infinite possibility and genuine danger reflects a nuanced understanding of how technology amplifies both human creativity and human destruction. The story neither demonizes nor idealizes digital culture, instead showing how online spaces can bring out both the best and worst aspects of human nature, depending on how they are used and by whom. The technical innovation required to bring this story to life pushed the boundaries of what was possible in computer animation, while serving clear narrative and emotional purposes. Every technical achievement in the film exists to support the storytelling rather than simply to demonstrate technical capability, ensuring that the spectacular visual elements enhance rather than distract from the human story at the film's center. The collaborative nature of the film's creation, involving hundreds of artists, technicians, writers, and performers, mirrors the collaborative nature of the Internet itself, while also demonstrating how creative communities can work together to achieve results that no individual could accomplish alone. The film serves as both a representation of and an argument for the kind of positive collaboration that digital technology. Ralph Breaks the Internet succeeds as both spectacle and story, technical achievement and emotional journey, contemporary commentary, and timeless tale of friendship and growth. Its ability to operate successfully on multiple levels while maintaining coherent focus and clear emotional throughlines demonstrates the continued potential for animated storytelling to address the most important and challenging aspects of human experience through the most engaging and accessible means possible. The film's lasting impact extends beyond entertainment to influence how audiences think about their own relationships, choices, and responsibilities in an interconnected world. By grounding its exploration of contemporary issues in the familiar framework of beloved characters facing recognizable challenges, the film makes complex social and emotional concepts accessible to audiences of all ages. Ralph Breaks the Internet represents both an endpoint and a beginning, completing Ralph and Vanellope's journey while opening possibilities for future stories that could explore new aspects of their world and relationships. The film's success in evolving its characters and expanding their universe, while maintaining their essential appeal, demonstrates how strong storytelling can continue to find new territory within familiar frameworks. The film stands as a testament to the power of animation to tackle serious subjects through joyful means, to address contemporary concerns through timeless storytelling techniques, and to create experiences that resonate with audiences across different ages, backgrounds, and levels of technical sophistication. Its achievement lies not just in what it accomplished technically or commercially, but in how effectively it used all of its resources in service of a story that matters, characters who feel real, and themes that enrich understanding of how to live and love in a complex and changing world. The deleted scenes from Ralph Breaks the Internet reveal fascinating alternate approaches that the filmmakers considered during development. One significant deleted opening sequence showed an entire group of arcade characters venturing into the internet together, including Qbert, Felix, Calhoun, Sonic, and Mary from Niceland. This version would have established the contrast between Ralph's fear and Vanellope's excitement much earlier in the narrative, but directors Rich Moore and Phil Johnston ultimately decided it revealed the central conflict too soon and created unnecessary pacing issues. The scene demonstrated Ralph's protective instincts extending beyond just Vanellope to encompass his entire community, showing his character as someone who naturally assumes responsibility for others' safety, even when they haven't asked for his protection. Another deleted sequence involved the grandmother of the child playing Slaughter Race, who would have been recruited by Shank to help defeat the virus during the climactic battle. This subplot lived in the film until very late in the production process, remaining fully animated and lit before being removed just 4 to 5 months before release. The directors realized that this additional element was making the third act unwieldy and creating story logic problems that complicated the emotional resolution between Ralph and Vanellope. The decision to remove this sequence required significant restructuring of the entire climax, demonstrating how even fully completed animation can be sacrificed in service of stronger storytelling. The pancake milkshake scene, which appeared in early trailers but was moved to the end credits, represents another example of how the filmmakers balanced humor with narrative necessity. In this sequence, Ralph and Vanellope infiltrate a children's game reminiscent of Toca Boca titles and end up feeding pancakes to a bunny character until it explodes. While the scene generated laughs and showcased the character's mischievous dynamic, it ultimately didn't serve the story's forward momentum. The filmmakers' decision to include it in the credits with meta-commentary acknowledging its removal demonstrates their sophisticated understanding of audience expectations and their willingness to break the fourth wall for comedic effect. The development process revealed multiple complete script versions that were ultimately discarded before reaching the final story structure. One version featured Vanellope becoming internet famous and self-absorbed, requiring Ralph to break out of digital prison with the help of Nosmore to rescue her from her own celebrity status. Another version positioned Ralph as the internet celebrity, facing off against an antivirus program named Bev, who served as the primary antagonist. These alternate approaches demonstrate how the filmmakers explored different power, dynamics, and role reversals before settling on the story that best served their thematic goals about friendship, growth, and letting go. The technical challenges of representing the internet as a navigable physical space required unprecedented innovation. The production team visited actual data centers and telecommunications facilities and the infrastructure. They studied the visual language of fiber optic cables, server farms, and network architecture to create a convincing representation that would feel both fantastical and grounded in recognizable technology. The result required the development of new rendering techniques that could handle the complexity of showing thousands of simultaneous data streams while maintaining visual clarity for the audience. The character design process for internet-native characters like Yesss and Shank required the team to develop new aesthetic approaches that would distinguish them from the arcade-based characters established in the first film. These characters needed to feel contemporary and digitally native while still fitting within the overall visual style of the Ralph universe. The designers studied fashion photography, social media aesthetics, and contemporary graphic design to create characters who felt authentically connected to modern digital culture, without becoming dated references that would quickly lose relevance. The Disney princess sequence required unprecedented coordination with multiple Disney properties and their respective creative teams. Each princess needed to maintain her established visual identity while being updated for contemporary audience. The sequence went through extensive legal review to ensure that all character representations respected existing copyrights and character guidelines. The complexity of coordinating so many different properties within a single sequence created logistical challenges that had never been attempted in Disney animation history. The voice recording process for the princess sequence required creative solutions when original voice actresses were unavailable due to retirement. The production team worked with voice doubles and archival recordings to maintain consistency with established characterizations while allowing for the new dialogue required by the story. This process required extensive collaboration with the original film's creative teams to ensure that the new material honored the characters' established personalities and vocal patterns. The song A Place Called Slaughter Race went through dozens of iterations before achieving the right balance of parody and genuine emotion. The songwriters needed to create something that would function as both legitimate Disney musical theater and clever commentary on the conventions of Disney songwriting. The challenge was making the parody elements funny, without undermining the genuine emotional content that the song needed to convey for Vanellope's character development. The animation of the viruses spread throughout Slaughter Race required the development of new particle systems and procedural animation techniques. The visual effects team needed to show how Vanellope's glitch could propagate through an entire game environment in a way that was both beautiful and threatening. The sequence combines traditional character animation with cutting-edge effects work to create something that feels both organic and digital, corrupted and magical. The sound design for the internet environment presented unique challenges, as the team needed to create audio environments that had no real-world equivalent. They researched the actual sounds of data centers, fiber optic installations, and networking equipment, then layered these realistic elements with musical and fantastical sounds to create something that felt both believable and entertaining. The result required thousands of individual sound elements and complex mixing to create distinct audio signatures for each website and digital environment. The marketing campaign for the film required careful coordination with actual internet companies and platforms whose logos and interfaces appear throughout the movie. Disney had to negotiate usage rights and ensure that their fictional representations would not create legal complications or misrepresent acts. This process required ongoing communication throughout production as real websites and platforms evolved and changed their visual branding. The film's approach to internet safety and digital literacy reflects extensive consultation with child development experts and internet safety advocates. The filmmakers wanted to acknowledge the real dangers that exist online while maintaining the optimistic and adventurous tone appropriate for family entertainment. This balance required careful attention to how potentially frightening concepts like viruses, dark web marketplaces, and cyberbullying were represented and resolved within the story. The cultural impact of the film extended beyond entertainment to influence discussions about digital literacy, online relationships, and the psychology of internet interaction. Educators began using the film as a starting point for conversations about healthy internet usage, the permanence of digital actions, and the importance of treating online interactions with the same respect as face-to-face relationships. The movie's exploration of how digital spaces can both connect and isolate people resonated with audiences grappling with similar issues in their own lives. The film's representation of content creation and viral fame proved particularly prescient as internet culture continued to evolve toward influencer marketing and user-generated content. Ralph's experience with viral video creation mirrors the experiences of real content creators who must balance authentic self-expression with audience expectations and algorithmic demands. The movie's portrayal of the attention economy and its psychological effects on creators provided insights that became increasingly relevant as social media platforms grew more central to many people's professional and personal lives. The technical innovations developed for Ralph Breaks the Internet influenced subsequent animated films and established new industry standards for representing digital environments in animation. The solutions developed for showing internet traffic, social media interactions, and digital advertising became templates that other studios adapted for their own projects. The film's success demonstrated that audiences were ready for stories that engaged seriously with digital culture and technology's impact on human relationships. The collaborative nature of the film's creation, involving hundreds of artists working across multiple time zones and countries, paralleled the global, interconnected nature of the internet itself. The production process required new approaches to communication, file sharing, and creative coordination that reflected the very digital culture the film was depicting. This metatextual element added another layer to the film's exploration of how technology changes human interaction and creative collaboration. The film's exploration of identity in digital spaces resonated with audiences navigating similar questions about authenticity, self-presentation, and personal growth in online environments. Vanellope's journey towards self-actualization through digital exploration reflected real experiences of people who have found communities, opportunities, and aspects of themselves through internet connections. The movie's affirmation that digital relationships can be as meaningful and transformative as physical ones provided validation for audiences whose online experiences had shaped their sense of self. The economic themes embedded in the film, from the initial financial crisis that threatens Sugar Rush to Ralph's viral video monetization, reflect broader questions about value, work, and compensation in digital economies. The movie's portrayal of how content creation can generate income while also creating psychological pressure and ethical dilemmas proved particularly relevant as gig economy and creator economy concepts became more prevalent in real world. The film's visual representation of data and information flow influenced how subsequent media depicted internet infrastructure and digital communication. The physical metaphors used to make abstract concepts tangible became part of a visual vocabulary that other filmmakers adopted when explaining internet concepts to general audiences. The movie's success in making complex technological concepts accessible demonstrated the power of visual storytelling. Enhanced Ralph Breaks the Internet ultimately stands as both entertainment and cultural artifact, capturing a specific moment in the evolution of internet culture while exploring timeless themes of friendship, growth, and adaptation. The film's lasting impact lies in its successful integration of cutting-edge technology with fundamental human emotions, creating an experience that works both as spectacular visual entertainment and meaningful exploration of how people connect, grow, and maintain relationships in an increasingly connected world. The critical reception of Ralph Breaks the Internet revealed a complex landscape of responses that reflected both the film's ambitious scope and the challenges of creating sequels to beloved animated features. Critics praised the film's visual inventiveness and emotional depth, while also noting concerns about its commercial elements and pacing structure. The consensus among professional reviewers positioned the film as a worthy successor that expanded its universe meaningfully while maintaining focus on character relationships and growth. The film's 88% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with an average score of 7.3 out of 10, demonstrated strong critical approval, though this represented a slight decrease from the near-universal acclaim received by the original Wreck-It Ralph. The critical response highlighted the film's success in translating abstract digital concepts into tangible emotional experiences, while acknowledging the challenges inherent in representing contemporary internet culture without becoming dated or overly commercial. Bill Jabiri's review for the New York Times captured the film's satirical edge by describing it as a terrifying and incisive commentary on how online life can transform people. This perspective recognized that beneath the colorful animation and family-friendly presentation lay sophisticated social commentary about digital culture's psychological effects. Eberi's assessment suggested that the film functioned on multiple levels, offering entertainment for children while providing meaningful analysis for adult audiences grappling with their own relationships to digital technology and online identity. Brian Lowry's CNN review emphasized the film's dual appeal, noting that while the colorful action would delight younger viewers, the smart and media-savvy references made it particularly engaging for grown-ups. This recognition of the film's layered approach reflected Disney's increasing sophistication in creating content that could satisfy multiple demographic groups without compromising artistic integrity or narrative focus. The ability to embed adult-oriented humor and cultural commentary within accessible family entertainment demonstrated the evolution of animated storytelling. Carrie Lengel's Arizona Republic review positioned the film as a reflection of contemporary society's relationship with technology, describing it as a heightened mirror of audiences' love affairs with gadgets, applications, and commercial brands. This interpretation suggested that the film's commercial elements weren't merely product placement but integral components of its cultural commentary. The observation highlighted how the movie used familiar brands and platforms to explore deeper questions about identity, community, and authenticity in digital spaces. Peter Hartlaub's San Francisco Chronicle review noted the film's inspirational moments while also identifying structural challenges in its opening section. The criticism that the first third struggled to find focus reflected a common concern among critics who appreciated the film's ultimate achievements while recognizing that its ambitious scope sometimes created pacing issues. The suggestion that Felix and Calhoun's subplot would have worked better as an animated short revealed how the film's desire to serve multiple characters and storylines occasionally worked against narrative efficiency. The comparison to Ready Player One appeared in multiple reviews, with Chris Bumbray noting similarities while asserting that Ralph Breaks the Internet maintained the quality standards established by its predecessor. This comparison highlighted how both films tackled the challenge of representing digital culture and gaming communities. Though Ralph's approach emphasized emotional relationships and personal growth, rather than purely nostalgic references and pop culture celebration. Brian Bishop's assessment for The Verge described the film as the Disney equivalent of the Lego Movie, praising its self-referential humor while noting that its portrayal of the internet might be overly optimistic for its contemporary moment. This observation reflected broader concerns about whether the film's relatively positive view of online culture adequately addressed the toxic elements that have become increasingly prominent in digital spaces. The tension between entertainment value and social responsibility created ongoing debates about animated films' obligations to address serious contemporary issues. More critical responses included Oliver Jones' New York Observer review, which characterized the film as a heavily commercialized product that prioritized corporate synergy over storytelling integrity. The description of the movie as a postmodern mashup of gags, nostalgia, product placement, and cultural references reflected concerns that Disney's corporate interests had compromised the film's artistic vision. This perspective suggested that the sequel's commercial success came at the expense of the genuine heart and authenticity that made the original film beloved. Alonso Duralde's critique for The Wrap focused on the film's potential for rapid dating, suggesting that its viral video references would become obsolete within a few years. This concern reflected the broader challenge facing contemporary filmmakers attempting to address current digital culture while creating content with lasting appeal. The observation highlighted the tension between relevance and time. Peter Bradshaw's Guardian review positioned the film somewhere between Ready Player One and the Emoji Movie, describing it as a visually spectacular but ultimately inert mashup of contemporary digital culture elements. This harsh assessment suggested that despite its technical achievements, the film failed to transcend its commercial origins and become meaningful cinema. The comparison to the Emoji Movie was particularly damaging, as it implied that Ralph Breaks the Internet represented the kind of corporate-driven content creation that prioritizes brand synergy over storytelling. User reviews on platforms like IMDb revealed a more mixed response that reflected the diverse expectations and experiences that audiences brought to the film. Some viewers appreciated the movie's self-awareness and sophisticated approach to internet culture, while others felt that the commercial elements overwhelmed the character development and emotional authenticity that defined the original film. Positive user responses frequently highlighted the film's visual creativity, voice acting quality, and successful integration of contemporary digital culture into a coherent narrative frame. These reviews often came from viewers who appreciated the movie's ambitious scope and were willing to accept its commercial elements as necessary components of its cultural commentary. The positive reception among families with children suggested that the film succeeded in its primary goal of entertaining its target demographic while providing additional layers of meaning for adult viewers. Critical user reviews often focused on the perception that the film functioned more as advertisement than entertainment, with extensive product placement and corporate cross-promotion undermining its artistic integrity. These responses reflected broader concerns about the commercialization of childhood entertainment and the extent to which corporate interests should influence creative content. The criticism suggested that some viewers felt betrayed by what they perceived as Disney's exploitation of beloved characters for a commercial program. The film's handling of the Disney princess sequence generated particularly polarized responses, with some viewers celebrating the self-referential humor, and others feeling that the sequence represented shameless self-promotion. This division reflected different perspectives on corporate self-awareness, and whether acknowledgement of commercial motivations excused their prominence in the narrative. The debate highlighted ongoing questions about authenticity. Technical aspects of the film received more consistent praise across both critical and user reviews, with widespread recognition of the animation quality, voice acting performances, and innovative approaches to representing digital environments. Even critics who had reservations about the film's commercial elements generally acknowledged the technical achievement and creative problem-solving required to bring the story to life. This recognition suggested that whatever concerns existed about the film's corporate aspects, its execution represented genuine artistic accomplishment. The film's exploration of friendship dynamics and personal growth resonated strongly with audiences who connected with the central relationship between Ralph and Vanellope. This aspect of the film provided emotional grounding that elevated it above pure spectacle or commercial exercise. Educational responses to the film often focused on its potential as a starting point for discussions about digital literacy, online safety, and healthy internet usage. Teachers and parents found value in the movie's portrayal of both positive aspects of online culture, using it as a framework for conversations about responsible digital citizenship. This educational application suggested that despite its entertainment focus, the film provided meaningful insights into contemporary digital life. The film's international reception varied based on different cultural relationships to American internet companies and digital culture. Markets with different dominant platforms or varying attitudes toward American corporate influence responded differently to the movie's extensive integration of recognized brands and services. This variation highlighted how cultural context affects reception of globally distributed entertainment content. Long-term assessment of Ralph Breaks the Internet has generally been more positive than initial critical responses suggested, with the film gaining appreciation as its themes about digital culture, personal growth, and relationship evolution proved increasingly relevant. The movie's exploration of how technology affects human connection has remained meaningful as society continues grappling with similar issues on an expanding scale. The film's influence on subsequent animated features can be seen in increased willingness to tackle contemporary technological and social issues within family entertainment frameworks. Other studios have adopted similar approaches to representing digital culture while balancing entertainment value with meaningful social commentary. Ralph Breaks the Internet established a template for how animated films could engage with contemporary culture while maintaining broad appeal. Academic analysis of the film has focused on its representation of digital spaces, its commentary on consumer culture, and its portrayal of female agency and friendship. Scholarly interest has particularly centered on the Disney princess sequence and its implications for understanding corporate self-awareness and feminist representation within commercial entertainment. These analyses have contributed to broader discussions about animation's potential for cultural critique and social commentary. The film's soundtrack and musical elements have received recognition for their integration of contemporary styles with traditional Disney music. The original songs and score successfully bridged the gap between the movie's digital setting and its emotional themes, creating audio landscapes that enhanced both the spectacular visual sequences and the intimate character moments. Ralph Breaks the Internet ultimately represents a successful, if imperfect, attempt to create meaningful sequel content that expands its fictional universe while addressing contemporary cultural concerns. Its achievements in animation technology, character development, and cultural commentary outweigh its shortcomings in commercial balance and narrative focus. The film stands as an important example of how animated entertainment can evolve to meet changing audience needs while maintaining the essential qualities that make stories resonant and enduring. The box office performance of Ralph Breaks the Internet demonstrated both the strength of Disney's animation brand and the challenges facing theatrical releases in an increasingly fragmented entertainment landscape. The film's opening weekend performance of $56.2 million represented a solid but not spectacular debut that fell short of industry predictions while still establishing the movie as a commercial success. The 5-day Thanksgiving opening of $84.5 million marked the second-best Thanksgiving debut in box office history, trailing only the $93.6 million opening of Frozen 5 years earlier. The domestic box office trajectory revealed interesting patterns about audience reception and word-of-mouth impact on contemporary animated features. Ralph Breaks the Internet maintained the top position for 3 consecutive weekends, an increasingly rare achievement in the modern theatrical landscape where new releases typically face immediate competition and rapid turnover. The film's ability to retain audience interest through multiple weekends suggested that its content resonated sufficiently with viewers to generate repeat business and positive recommendations. International performance proved crucial to the film's overall financial success, with overseas markets contributing $328.2 million to the total worldwide gross of $529 million. This international performance represented approximately 62% of the film's total revenue, reflecting the global appeal of Disney animation. The strong international showing also demonstrated that the film's internet-focused content translated effectively across different cultural contexts and technological infrastructures. The production budget of $175 million positioned Ralph Breaks the Internet among the more expensive animated features of its era, reflecting both the technical complexity required to create the Internet environments and Disney's confidence in the property's commercial potential. The final worldwide gross of $529.3 million represented approximately 3 times the production budget, meeting industry standards for profitability while falling short of the blockbuster multiples achieved by some contemporary Disney releases. Comparative analysis with other Disney animated sequels revealed both the opportunities and challenges facing franchise filmmaking in animation. Unlike Pixar's sequel strategy, which had generated multiple billion-dollar franchises, Disney Animation Studios had largely avoided direct sequels since the straight-to-video era of the 1990s and early 2000s. Ralph Breaks the Internet represented Disney's first theatrical animated sequel in nearly 3 decades, making its commercial performance a crucial test case for the studio's future sequel strategy. The film's performance during the Thanksgiving holiday period demonstrated the continued importance of family-friendly content during traditional movie-going seasons. The Wednesday opening day gross of $18.3 million, including $3.8 million from Tuesday previews, set new records for Thanksgiving releases and indicated strong audience anticipation. The sustained performance through the holiday weekend suggested that families embraced the film as appropriate seasonal entertainment that could satisfy multiple generations simultaneously. Marketing and promotional strategies for Ralph Breaks the Internet reflected Disney's sophisticated understanding of contemporary media consumption and audience engagement patterns. The promotional campaign leveraged social media platforms extensively, creating content mirror the films themselves platforms extensively. The integration of actual internet culture into the marketing approach demonstrated how modern film promotion has evolved to match the digital environments that contemporary audiences inhabit daily. The merchandising strategy associated with Ralph Breaks the Internet faced unique challenges related to the film's internet-based content and contemporary cultural references. Unlike traditional Disney properties that could generate toy lines based on recognizable characters and environments, the digital nature of much of the film's content required creative approaches to physical merchandise. The Disney Princess sequence provided the most obvious merchandising opportunities, while the internet-native characters and environments required innovative product development strategies. The February 26th release date for home video formats positioned the movie for strong sales during the spring season when families often seek new entertainment options. The film's availability on Disney's streaming platforms further extended its reach and provided ongoing revenue generation beyond traditional theatrical and home video windows. Award season recognition for Ralph Breaks the Internet included nominations in multiple technical categories that acknowledged the film's innovative approaches to animation and sound design. While the movie did not achieve the widespread critical acclaim that generates major awards consideration, it received recognition for its technical achievements and voice acting performances. The award's attention helped maintain the film's cultural relevance. The film's impact on Disney's animation pipeline influenced subsequent projects and strategic decisions about franchise development and sequel production. The mixed, but generally positive reception encouraged Disney to continue exploring sequel opportunities, while also highlighting the importance of maintaining the creative integrity and emotional authenticity that define successful Disney animation. Educational institutions began incorporating Ralph Breaks the Internet into media literacy curricula and digital citizenship programs, recognizing the film's potential as a teaching tool for discussing internet culture, online safety, and digital ethics. The movie's portrayal of various internet environments and their associated risks and opportunities provided concrete examples that educators could use to facilitate discussions. The film's representation of contemporary internet culture created a time capsule effect that documented specific technological and social phenomena from the late 20s. Future viewers will be able to see how internet culture appeared to mainstream audiences during this particular historical moment, making the movie valuable both as entertainment and as cultural documentation. The challenge of representing rapidly evolving digital culture while maintaining lasting appeal became a case study for other filmmakers tackling similar contemporary subjects. Technical innovations developed for Ralph Breaks the Internet influenced subsequent animated films and advanced the overall capabilities of computer animation. The solutions created for rendering complex digital environments, managing large numbers of background. The collaborative nature of the production process also established new standards for managing large-scale animation projects with multiple departments and international contributors. The voice acting ensemble assembled for Ralph Breaks the Internet demonstrated Disney's ability to attract major talent while maintaining continuity with established characters. The return of G. Reilly and Sarah Silverman provided emotional continuity with the first film. Henson, Gal Gadot, and the ensemble of Disney princess voice actresses created excitement and expanded the film's appeal to different audience segments. The integration of so many different vocal styles and performance approaches required careful direction and sound mixing to maintain coherent character relationships. Music and sound design elements of Ralph Breaks the Internet received. The challenge of making abstract technological concepts audible and emotionally resonant required innovative approaches to both original composition and sound effects design. The film's audio achievements influenced how subsequent movies approached the sonic representation of digital spaces and virtual environments. The film's exploration of viral content creation and social media fame proved prescient as these phenomena became even more central to popular culture in the years following its release. Ralph's experience as an accidental internet celebrity and the psychological effects of online attention reflected real experiences that became increasingly common among content creators and social media users. The movie's insights into the attention economy and its impact on personal relationships provided valuable perspective on digital culture's psychological dimensions. Ralph Breaks the Internet's ultimate legacy extends beyond its box office performance or critical reception to encompass its role in advancing animated storytelling techniques, documenting contemporary digital culture, and exploring themes of friendship, growth, and adaptation in an interconnected world. The film's achievements in technical innovation, cultural commentary, and emotional storytelling demonstrate the continued evolution of animation as both an art form and a vehicle for meaningful social discourse about the most pressing issues of contemporary life. The movie accumulated a total of 4 wins and 67 nominations across numerous prestigious organizations, demonstrating widespread acknowledgement of its artistic and technical merits. The Academy Award nomination for Best Animated Feature at the 91st Academy Awards positioned the film among the year's most acclaimed animated features, though it ultimately lost to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The Golden Globe nomination for Best Animated Feature at the 76th Golden Globe Awards provided additional mainstream recognition and helped maintain the film's visibility during awards season. The inclusion in this category, alongside other major animated releases of 2018, highlighted the competitive nature of contemporary animated filmmaking and the increasing sophistication expected from animated features. The nomination process itself generated additional media coverage and critical discussion about the film's themes and achievements. The Annie Awards recognition proved particularly significant given this organization's specific focus on animation excellence and industry acknowledgement. Ralph Breaks the Internet received 10 nominations across multiple categories, including Best Animated Feature, Outstanding Achievement for Animated Effects, Character Animation, Character Design, Directing, Music, Storyboarding, Voice Acting, Writing, and Editorial. The film won the Outstanding Achievement for Animated Effects in an Animated Feature Production Award, recognizing the groundbreaking work required to create the specific recognition of Cesar Velasquez, Marie Tolek, Alexander Moveni, Peter Diamond, and Ian J. Cooney for their effects work acknowledged the unprecedented technical challenges involved in representing digital environments and virus propagation within animated storytelling. This award validated the innovative approaches developed specifically for the film and established new standards for representing abstract technological concepts in animation. The effects work became a model for subsequent films tackling similar digital representation challenges. Sarah Silverman's Annie Award nomination for voice acting recognized her nuanced performance as Vanellope, particularly her ability to convey the character's evolution from arcade game innocence to internet sophistication. The nomination acknowledged the complexity required to voice act a character experiencing such significant personal growth while maintaining the essential qualities that made her beloved in the original film. Silverman's work demonstrated how voice acting could serve both comedic and dramatic functions within the same performance. The Critics' Choice Movie Awards nomination for Best Animated Feature provided additional mainstream recognition and demonstrated the film's appeal to professional film critics who evaluate animated features within the broader context of cinematic achievement. This recognition suggested that the movie succeeded not merely as entertainment, but as sophisticated filmmaking that warranted serious critical consideration. The nomination process generated valuable publicity and helped position the film as a serious artistic achievement rather than merely commercial product. The Visual Effects Society Awards provided 4 nominations that specifically recognized the technical innovation required to bring the internet to life on screen. The categories included Outstanding Visual Effects in an Animated Feature, Outstanding Animated Character in an Animated Feature for Ralph Silla, Outstanding Created Environment in an Animated Feature for the Social Media District, and Outstanding Effects Simulations in an Animated Feature for Virus Infection. These nominations highlighted different aspects of the film's technical achievement and demonstrated the breadth of innovation required across multiple departments. The nomination for Outstanding Animated Character, specifically for Ralph Silla, recognized the creative and technical challenges involved in creating the giant Ralph monster that serves as the film's climactic antagonist. The recognition acknowledged both the character design work and the animation required to make a character composed of thousands of individual Ralph clones feel coherent and emotionally resonant. This technical achievement required new approaches to crowd simulation and character animation that influenced subsequent industry practices. The Outstanding Created Environment nomination for the Social Media District highlighted the unprecedented challenge of representing abstract digital concepts as navigable physical spaces. The recognition validated the creative team's approach to making intangible internet phenomena tangible. The Social Media District became a template for how other filmmakers might approach similar challenges in representing digital culture within physical storytelling frameworks. The Cinema Audio Society nomination for Outstanding Achievement in Sound Mixing recognized the complex audio challenges involved in creating believable soundscapes for digital environments. Fleur, Alan Meyerson, Doc Kane, and Scott Curtis in developing audio approaches that could make abstract technological concepts audible and emotionally engaging. The sound mixing achievement influenced how subsequent films approached audio design for digital and virtual environments. Regional film critics organizations provided additional recognition that demonstrated the film's broad appeal across different markets and nominations from organizations including the Chicago Film Critics Association, Detroit Film Critics Society, San Diego Film Critics Society, and Washington Area Film Critics Association suggested that the movie resonated with critics representing diverse geographical and cultural perspectives. This widespread recognition indicated that the film's themes and achievements transcended regional preferences and cultural boundaries. The Producers Guild of America nomination for Best Animated Motion Picture recognized Clark Spencer's role in shepherding the complex production process required to create such an ambitious animated feature. This recognition acknowledged the logistical and creative challenges involved in coordinating hundreds of artists and technicians while maintaining artistic vision and narrative coherence. The nomination validated the film's technical and creative possible. The Kids' Choice Awards nominations for Favorite Animated Movie and Favorite Female Voice from an Animated Movie for Gal Gadot demonstrated the film's success in appealing to its primary target audience. These nominations, determined by children's votes, provided validation that the movie succeeded in entertaining and engaging young viewers despite its sophisticated themes and contemporary cultural references. The recognition from the target demographic confirmed that the film's complex content remained accessible and enjoyable for children. The Alliance of Women Film Journalists nominations for Best Animated Feature Film and Best Animated Female for Sarah Silverman reflected the organization's recognition of the film's positive representation of the female characters and theme. The nominations acknowledge both the overall quality of the filmmaking and the specific success in creating strong, complex female characters who drive their own narratives rather than serving merely as supporting roles for male protagonists. This recognition validated the filmmaker's commitment to meaningful female representation. Reilly's win from the San Diego Film Critics Society for Best Body of Work recognized his overall contributions to cinema during the year, with Ralph Breaks the Internet serving as part of a broader body of acclaimed performances. While not specific to the animated film, This recognition reflected the continued respect for Reilly's voice acting abilities and his successful transition between live action and animated performance. The award validated the legitimacy of voice acting as serious dramatic work. The extensive award's recognition ultimately served multiple functions beyond simple acknowledgement of achievement. The nominations and wins generated additional publicity that extended the film's cultural relevance beyond its initial theatrical run. The critical attention helped position Ralph Breaks the Internet as a significant entry in Disney's animated canon, rather than. The technical recognition influenced industry practices and established new standards for representing digital culture in animated storytelling. The award season presence also contributed to broader discussions about the role of animated films in addressing contemporary social issues and cultural phenomena. The recognition validated the approach of using family entertainment formats to explore complex themes about technology, relationships, and personal growth. This validation encouraged other filmmakers to tackle similar contemporary subjects within animated frameworks, expanding the range of topics considered appropriate for animated storytelling. The cumulative effect of the award's recognition helped establish Ralph Breaks the Internet as a legitimate artistic achievement that succeeded in balancing entertainment value with meaningful cultural commentary. The widespread acknowledgement from diverse critical and industry organizations. This recognition contributed to the movie's lasting influence on both animation techniques and approaches to representing digital culture in popular entertainment. The award's legacy of Ralph Breaks the Internet extends beyond the specific recognition received to encompass its influence on industry standards and creative approaches to contemporary storytelling. The film's success in garnering serious critical attention while remaining accessible to family audiences established a template for how animated features could address complex contemporary issues without sacrificing entertainment value or commercial appeal. This balance became increasingly important as animated filmmaking continued evolving to meet changing audience expectations and cultural needs. The merchandising strategy for Ralph Breaks the Internet reflected both the opportunities and challenges of creating physical products based on digital environments and contemporary internet culture. The Disney Princess sequence provided the most commercially viable merchandising angle, with Disney creating a special edition 13-doll set featuring the princess in their casual, comfy outfits as seen in the film. This set sold for $99.95, representing significant value considering individual Disney princess dolls typically retail for $10 to $14 each. The redesigned princess dolls captured the unique art style developed specifically for the film's Oh My Disney sequence, featuring more cartoonish proportions with bigger eyes and ears, graphic mouth shapes, while maintaining the iconic color schemes and essential hairstyles of each actor. Art director Amy Thompson explained that the challenge was preserving each princess's recognizable identity, while updating their appearance for contemporary audiences and the film's specific art style. The dolls included Cinderella, Rapunzel, Mulan, Moana, Snow White, Merida, Tiana, Aurora, Pocahontas, Ariel, Jasmine, Belle, and Vanellope, creating a comprehensive collection that spanned Disney's animated history. The brand partnership strategy for Ralph Breaks the Internet demonstrated sophisticated understanding of how contemporary marketing could leverage the film's internet themes for authentic promotional campaigns. The most innovative partnership involved the Void and Ilmx Lab, who created Ralph Breaks VR, an original virtual reality experience that allowed guests to enter the animated world alongside Ralph and Vanellope. This partnership represented groundbreaking integration between traditional filmmaking and emerging entertainment technologies, creating promotional experiences that felt like natural extensions of the film's themes rather than forced advertising. The Carvana partnership exemplified how real-world companies could authentically integrate into the film's promotional ecosystem by leveraging their appearance in the movie itself. The car-buying platform created a campaign titled Wreck the Net, featuring Ralph and Vanellope, navigating the normally laborious process of online car purchasing through Carvana's streamlined service. The advertisements highlighted Carvana's key messaging about making car buying fun, fast, and convenient, while maintaining thematic consistency with the film's exploration of how internet services can simplify complex tasks. The Purple Mattress Company partnership demonstrated how brands could creatively connect the products to the film's themes through clever wordplay and integrated marketing campaigns. Purple's promotional campaign encouraged consumers to unwreck their sleep with their innovative mattress technology, while positioning their product as the mattress that broke the internet. The campaign included television spots and digital content featuring Ralph and Vanellope, creating authentic connections between the brand's messaging and the film's narrative themes. The digital marketing lessons embedded within the film's plot provided valuable insights for contemporary content creators and marketers studying viral video creation and online audience engagement. Ralph's journey to internet fame demonstrated key principles of successful viral content, including the importance of capitalizing on trending topics, creating content with appropriate length and pacing, and maintaining consistency across different platforms. The film's portrayal of algorithm-driven content promotion reflected real-world social media dynamics while providing digital marketing strategies. The remarketing concepts represented by eBay's persistent reminders to Ralph about his auction purchase illustrated important principles about customer engagement and follow-up communication. The film's portrayal of how platforms maintain contact with users after initial interactions provided insights into contemporary e-commerce practices and customer relationship management. These examples demonstrated how animated entertainment could serve educational. The user experience design lessons embedded in Ralph and Vanellope's navigation of various websites reflected best practices in contemporary web design and interface development. The film's portrayal of eBay as an easily navigable platform, where users could quickly understand categories, search functions, and bidding processes provided examples of effective user interface design. The contrast between user-friendly sites and more chaotic environments illustrated the importance of clear navigation and intuitive design in creating positive user experiences. The word-of-mouth marketing concepts demonstrated through Ralph's negative reaction to eBay's pricing reflected real-world concerns about online reputation, management, and customer service. The film's portrayal of how individual user experiences could influence portrayal of the demonstration of how negative experiences could spread and affect brand reputation illustrated contemporary challenges facing online businesses and service providers. The viral marketing strategies employed by Ralph to generate income through BuzzTube reflected sophisticated understanding of contemporary content creation and monetization practices. The film's portrayal of how creators must balance authentic self-expression with algorithmic demands provided insights in the demonstration of how viral content could generate income while also creating personal and social complications offered valuable commentary on the attention economy and its effects on individual creators. The cross-platform marketing approach demonstrated through Ralph's content creation illustrated how successful contemporary campaigns must integrate online and offline elements to achieve maximum reach and engagement. The film's portrayal of how digital content could influence both online communities and real-world arcade visitors demonstrated the interconnected nature of contemporary media ecosystems. The integrated approach to promotion reflected best practices in contemporary marketing that recognized the blurred boundaries between digital and physical promotional activities. The pop-up advertising strategy employed within the film provided commentary on contemporary digital advertising strategy employed within the portrayal of how pop-up advertisements could be both useful and annoying illustrated the challenges facing contemporary advertisers trying to balance visibility with user experience. The film's approach to representing advertising within digital environments provided insights into how contemporary audiences experience and respond to online promotional content. The search engine optimization lessons embedded in Ralph's approach to gaining visibility online reflected contemporary digital marketing practices and the importance of content strategy in building online presence. The film's portrayal of how creators must understand platform algorithms and audience preferences to achieve success provided educational value for viewers learning about digital content creation. The demonstration of how high-quality content and strategic promotion could drive traffic and engagement offered practical insights into contemporary online marketing. The costume and apparel merchandising opportunities created by the film's internet themes generated products that allowed fans to express their connection to digital culture and contemporary online experiences. Items like customizable t-shirts featuring internet-themed slogans and imagery provided ways for audiences to extend their engagement with the film beyond the theatrical experience. The merchandise strategy recognized that contemporary audiences wanted products that reflected their own digital experiences and online identities. The educational applications of the film's merchandising and marketing approaches provided valuable case studies for business schools and marketing programs study. The successful integration of authentic brand partnerships Innovative promotional experiences and educational content demonstrated how modern entertainment properties could serve multiple functions while maintaining artistic integrity. The various partnerships and promotional campaigns became models for how other entertainment properties could approach contemporary marketing challenges. The successful integration of real-world brands and services into narrative content without compromising storytelling integrity established new standards for authentic promotional integration. The innovative approaches to virtual reality experiences, educational content, and cross-platform promotion became templates that other studios adapted for their own projects. The cultural documentation provided by the film's marketing campaigns created valuable records. The promotional materials and brand partnerships captured specific technological and social phenomena that provide insight into contemporary digital culture and its intersection with traditional entertainment. This documentation function adds historical value to the marketing materials beyond their original promotional purposes. Ralph Breaks the Internet's merchandising and marketing legacy demonstrates the potential for animated entertainment to serve educational, promotional, and cultural. The successful balance of commercial interests with artistic integrity and educational content established new possibilities for how contemporary entertainment properties could engage with audiences across multiple platforms and contexts. The innovative approaches to brand integration and promotional strategy continue influencing how animated films approach contemporary marketing challenges, while serving diverse audience needs and interests. The environmental design philosophy that guided Ralph Breaks the Internet's visual development team extended beyond simple representation to encompass emotional geography and psychological space. The Internet landscapes were constructed according to principles that would make abstract digital concepts feel emotionally resonant and physically navigable. The design team created visual hierarchies that helped audiences understand the relative importance and relationships between different digital. The color psychology employed throughout the film served both aesthetic and narrative functions, with different internet environments receiving distinct color palettes that reflected their emotional and functional characteristics. The warm, inviting colors of eBay contrasted sharply with the neon intensity of BuzzTube, while the dark web environments employed desaturated colors and harsh lighting to create feelings of unease and moral ambiguity. These choices helped audiences navigate the emotional landscape of the internet while maintaining visual interest and narrative clarity. The character development arcs that define Ralph Breaks the Internet demonstrate sophisticated understanding of how people change and grow within relationships while maintaining their essential identities. Ralph's journey from protective friend to supportive ally mirrors real psychological processes that occur when people learn to balance their own. The film's portrayal of this growth avoids simple resolution in favor of complex emotional evolution that feels authentic and meaningful. Vanellope's character development represents a parallel but distinct journey towards self-actualization and independence. Her growing awareness of her own desires and capabilities creates internal conflict that drives the narrative while also providing audiences with relatable experiences of personal growth and self-discovery. The film's willingness to show that growth sometimes requires difficult choices and temporary separation demonstrates mature understanding of human development and relationship dynamics. The supporting character ensemble provides essential context and depth to the central relationship between Ralph and Vanellope. Their interactions with the main characters provide opportunities for growth, conflict, and resolution that enrich the overall storytelling experience. The themes explored throughout Ralph Breaks the Internet resonate with contemporary concerns about technology's impact on human relationships while maintaining timeless relevance about friendship, growth, and change. The film's exploration of how digital connections can both supplement and threaten real-world relationships provides valuable insights for audiences navigating their own relationships with technology and each other. The musical score and sound design create audio landscapes that enhance both the spectacular visual sequences and the intimate character moments. The integration of contemporary musical styles with traditional orchestral approaches reflects the film's themes about bridging different worlds and finding harmony between competing elements. The audio design helps audiences feel immersed in digital environments while maintaining emotional connection to the characters and their relationships. The editing and pacing choices throughout the film reflect careful attention to how audiences process complex visual information. The decision to alternate between high-energy spectacle and quieter character moments creates rhythm that keeps audiences engaged while allowing time for emotional processing and character development. This pacing demonstrates sophisticated understanding of how contemporary audiences consume entertainment. The cultural commentary embedded throughout Ralph Breaks the Internet extends beyond simple internet satire to encompass broad questions about the film's exploration of how people present themselves differently in different contexts reflects real experiences of code switching and identity performance that define much contemporary social interaction. This commentary adds depth and relevance to the entertainment content. The technical innovation required to create Ralph Breaks the Internet pushed the boundaries of computer animation while serving clear narrative and emotional purposes. The solutions developed for representing digital environments, managing complex crowd scenes, and integrating multiple visual styles became part of the animation industry's technical toolkit. These innovations demonstrate how artistic ambition can drive technological advancement in service of storytelling excellence. The collaborative nature of the film's creation involved hundreds of artists, writers, technicians, and performers. This collaborative process mirrors the interconnected nature of the Internet itself, while demonstrating how creative communities can achieve results that no individual could accomplish alone. The success of this collaboration provides insights into effective creative project management and artistic leadership. Ralph Breaks the Internet's ultimate achievement lies in its successful integration of spectacular technical accomplishment with meaningful emotional storytelling and relevance. The film demonstrates that animated entertainment can tackle serious contemporary subjects while remaining accessible and enjoyable for audiences of all ages. This balance between entertainment value and meaningful content establishes the movie as a significant example of how popular culture can engage with important social and technological issues. The lasting impact of Ralph Breaks the Internet extends beyond its box office performance and critical reception to encompass its influence on animation techniques, cultural discourse, and approaches to representing digital culture in popular entertainment. The film's success in creating meaningful story content within a framework of technical innovation and cultural commentary provides a template for how animated storytelling can continue evolving to meet changing audience needs. The film's exploration of friendship dynamics and personal growth provides valuable insights for audiences navigating their own relationships and life transitions. The honest portrayal of how love sometimes means letting go, how growth can be painful, and how relationships must evolve to remain healthy offers wisdom that transcends the specific context of animated entertainment. These themes ensure that the movie remains relevant, meaningful long after its initial release. Ralph Breaks the Internet stands as a testament to the power of animated storytelling to address complex contemporary issues while maintaining the joy, wonder, and emotional authenticity that makes stories worth telling and retelling. Its achievement in balancing spectacular visual innovation with genuine human emotion creates an experience that rewards multiple viewings and provides different levels of meaning for different audiences, ensuring its place in the canon of significant animated features that successfully bridge entertainment and art. The post-production process for Ralph Breaks the Internet involved extensive collaboration between multiple departments to achieve the seamless integration with groundbreaking and visual. The lighting department faced unprecedented challenges in creating illumination systems that could handle both the familiar arcade environments and the vast digital landscapes of the Internet. Each major website required its own lighting philosophy, from the warm marketplace atmosphere of eBay to the pulsing neon energy of BuzzTube, requiring the development of specialized tools and techniques that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in computer animation. The effects animation team developed revolutionary approaches to representing abstract digital concepts like data flow, viral propagation, and algorithm operation through visual metaphors that audiences could understand intuitively. The challenge was making invisible technological processes visible and emotionally resonant without overwhelming the character-driven storytelling at the film's heart. The virus sequence alone required the creation of over 40 new particle systems and procedural animation tools that could simulate both organic infection patterns and digital corruption effects. The storyboard department worked through hundreds of iterations to find the right balance between spectacular action sequences and intimate character. Early versions of the script contained even more elaborate internet environments and celebrity cameos, But the filmmakers ultimately decided that these elements were distracting from the central relationship between Ralph and Vanellope. The decision to focus on emotional authenticity over pure spectacle required significant revisions throughout the production process. The cultural research conducted during pre-production involved extensive consultation with digital anthropologists, social media experts, and internet culture historians to ensure that the film's representation of online life would feel authentic to contemporary audiences, while remaining accessible to all age groups. The team studied everything from YouTube comment culture to viral marketing strategies to understand how different demographics interact with digital platforms. The international version considerations required careful attention to how different cultures relate to internet platforms and digital communication. Certain visual gags and cultural references had to be modified for different markets, while the core emotional themes remained universal. The challenge was maintaining narrative coherence while acknowledging that internet culture varies significantly across different regions and linguistic communities. The film's approach to representing user-generated content reflected sophisticated understanding of how contemporary audiences create and consume digital media. Ralph's viral video career mirrors real experiences of content creators who must balance authentic self-expression with algorithmic demands and audience expectations. The portrayal of how online fame affects personality and relationships provided. The technical achievement of creating Ralphzilla required the development of new crowd simulation systems that could handle thousands of individual Ralph clones while maintaining the character's essential personality and movement patterns. Each clone needed to feel like Ralph while also functioning as part of a larger collective entity. The sequence demanded innovations in both character animation and crowd dynamics that influenced subsequent animated films tackling similar large-scale characters. The sound mixing process involved creating audio signatures for digital environments that had no real-world equivalent. The team researched actual internet infrastructure sounds, from server farms to fiber optic installations, then layered these realistic elements with musical and fantastical sounds to create believable but entertaining audio landscapes. The internet needed to sound both technological and magical, familiar and extraordinary. The film's representation of online toxicity and cyberbullying required careful handling to acknowledge these real problems without creating content that would be inappropriate for family audiences. The virus serves as a metaphor for how negative emotions and toxic behavior can spread through digital networks, causing real harm to individuals. And its approach allowed the film to address serious contemporary issues within its fantasy framework. The educational potential of Ralph Breaks the Internet became apparent during test screenings when audiences began discussing digital literacy and online safety issues raised by the story. Teachers and parents found that the film provided useful starting points for conversations about responsible internet usage, the permanence of digital actions, and the importance of maintaining authentic relationships both online and offline. The voice recording process required extensive coordination between multiple studios and recording sessions to accommodate the large ensemble cast. Many of the Disney princess voice actresses recorded their dialogue separately, requiring careful editing and mixing to create believable group interactions. The challenge was maintaining conversational rhythm and natural interaction patterns despite the logistical constraints of contemporary voice. The final edit represents careful balance between multiple competing elements including action sequences, character development, cultural commentary, and visual spectacle. Early cuts of the film were significantly longer, containing extended sequences in various internet environments that were ultimately removed to maintain narrative focus. The decision to prioritize emotional storytelling over pure spectacle required difficult choices about which elaborate sequences to cut despite their technical achievement. The film's legacy in animation history extends beyond its box office success to encompass its influence on how animated features approach contemporary cultural subjects. The successful integration of real-world brands and technologies into fantasy storytelling established new possibilities for how animated films could engage with contemporary life while maintaining their essential magical quality. Ralph Breaks the Internet stands as both entertainment and cultural artifact, capturing specific technological and social phenomena while exploring timeless themes about friendship, growth, and adaptation. Its technical innovations advanced the animation industry, while its emotional authenticity provided meaningful insights into contemporary life and relationships. The film's achievement lies in successfully balancing spectacular visual innovation with genuine human storytelling, creating an experience that rewards multiple viewings and provides different levels of meaning for different audiences. The movie's exploration of digital culture proves increasingly relevant as society continues, grappling with technology's impact on human connection and personal identity. Ralph and Vanellope's journey through the internet serves as both adventure story and thoughtful commentary on how people navigate digital spaces while maintaining authentic relationships and personal growth. Ralph Breaks the Internet ultimately succeeds in its ambitious goal of creating meaningful sequel content that expands its fictional universe while addressing contemporary cultural concerns. Its achievements in animation technology, character development, and cultural commentary outweigh any shortcomings in commercial balance or narrative focus, establishing it as an important example of how animated entertainment can evolve to meet changing audience needs.